It's Phil here, and we're gonna have a very special stream here. I'm gonna play for the celebration of Empire Strikes Back 40th anniversary here. It came out exactly 40 years to the day. We're gonna play a little game called Star Wars Galaxies. Now, this was an MMORPG it came out in 2003. It was like really the first of its kind. It was a sandbox MMORPG, which essentially meant that you could pretty much do whatever you want. You know, there was no, straight storyline. You just kind of, went about your business. You picked a profession amongst a long list of professions, as opposed to like World of Warcraft, where you have like 8 simple professions. This had like 40, and you could kind of pretty much do whatever you wanted. And just live in the Star Wars universe. And that was the cool thing at the time. It was like, wow, you could really live in the Star Wars universe and kind of do whatever you wanted. If you wanted to be a bounty hunter, or if you wanted to be, even an entertainer. This was a very social game, so a lot of people wanted to become entertainers, or they wanted to become doctors, or musicians, and just hang out in the canteen all day. As you can see, we're in the cantina now. And that was really a big aspect of the game, was the social part of it. And you can see even now, it's a weeknight, and there's just dozens of people playing this game actively. Now, the game itself shut off, the server shut down in, I think, 2011. So the game ran from 03 to 2011. So it had an 8-year run. And a lot of people really still wanted to play it. A few guys started private servers, and you could pretty much play the same game now as an emulator. What happened down the road, or not long after the release was in 03, I started playing the game in 2004, summer of 04, was that there was a lot of competition, or at least competition was coming in the market for the MMORPG games, and this game, while, was critically acclaimed at first, I believe Sony Online Entertainment was running it, and they wanted more, more people playing it. For I'm not sure. I believe it was like Christmas '03. They wanted more subscriptions, because it was you had to pay monthly to play MMORPGs. I'm assuming you still do. So one of the ways that they thought that they were going to get a lot of people to play this game going forward was to get Jedi in the game. Now, as a profession, it was essentially like a locked profession, or you didn't even know it was there. And I'll show you the profession list here. So. I'm a bounty hunter, and I started this account, I think, in like 2012. But this is the emulator version, so this is called SWGEmu, and there's a few versions because the game went through changes over time that I'll go over in a minute. And so here's the list of all the professions. As you can see, I believe it's something like it's just 5 here, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 15. 20, it's like well over, it's like close to 40 professions. You just pretty much do whatever you want. And carbineer, chef, combat medic, commando, and the game had an economy, an ecosystem where you needed all of these professions to be working in tandem. Like you couldn't be like a rifleman or a carbineer without somebody making your guns. So you needed that, and then you needed somebody to harvest like the ore and like metals to create the guns, or armor for that matter. There's merchants, musicians, shipwrights. When the game essentially there was add-ons to the game. The next DLC, who would call it nowadays, was Jump to Lightspeed, where you would play in space and in your starship. And there's 10 planets when the game started. You start on Tatooine, and then there's Naboo and Corellia and a bunch of others. We could look at the list, I believe. Or do I have to? I think I have to go to the ship terminal. So, I hit Novice Squad Leader somehow. I guess. There's Tarakasi, which is essentially like the martial arts of Star Wars world, which was originally created in the 90s books. I'm not sure, it was either Joel McNeely or one of the, not Joel McNeely, Steve Perry, or possibly one of the other guys that created Tarakasi. can be a politician, you know, so many, you know, you can really live in the Star Wars world in this game, you know, and that was what its big appeal was, at least to a lot of people. But because Sony Online Entertainment, I mean, just look at all the people that are playing now. You know, these are all, none of these are NPCs. This is a person, this is just an AFK person, but all these people are actively here, you know, or at least the majority of them. You'll see some AFK, but, you know, this one's smirking at me, you know, I'm gonna kick him in the groin. But, you know, there's a lot of people here actively playing, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and, you know, 10, 12 people here, and then there's a whole bunch over here in the rest of the cantina. This is just the straight up Mos Eisley cantina. And, you know, you can see there's just a heck of a lot of people in here playing. These are NPCs over here. People doodling. You know, the cantina regulars are in here, Muff Tack, you know. And those are NPCs. But, all these people fooling around dancing over here, I thought they don't serve their kind of droid. But these are all people, you know. Master Bounty Hunter sitting here. Novice Entertainer. You know, some of them are AFK, you know, try to just grind. That was another thing with this game. This is, I guess, like a Wookiee, Master Rifleman Wookiee, and a warrant officer. So you use so many different professions. It really was like mind-boggling, you know. But that's what made it unique. I think Sony Online Entertainment felt that the game was intimidating to new users. So, as you can see, beautiful music. Let's amp up the graphics here. Graphics a little low. We can amp them up. We have the technology. I remember when I first started playing this game in 04, my computer was not able to deal with the strengthen up the detail here. I didn't have the processor or the RAM to deal with this. I think my RAM at the time was like 128 megabytes. You know, like, yeah. So that was in 2003, but you know, now it runs just fine. So so I actually played this game the other day, and I tried to do a stream, but it failed, and my swoop bike got wrecked, and in a little battle that I actually don't want to spoil because I want to do it again, and I got knocked out, and I got killed by a creature, and it destroyed my swoop bike. But I'm a bounty hunter. I'm not like I said, I'm not a master bounty hunter. Here's a nice, that's a speeder bike. You can use speeder bike. You can use like Luke's land speeder to get around. Because the game is huge. Each planet, there's 10 planets, is I believe the equivalent of 10 by 10, 10 miles by 10 miles. You know, so they're huge spaces. So there's like literally like 100 square miles of this game just to go around, and that's not even including, you know, the add-ons. Eventually they added on Kashyyyk, and eventually they added on Mustafar. So there was a bunch of stuff, but I'm gonna for Deed. I gotta get my swoop bike. There we go. Throw 3,000. That's actually not that bad. Usually they're more expensive. This is instant purchase. This is bids. I just need to instantly buy it. Or whatever. Sale price. Yeah. Link. Purchased. I have a good amount of money now. That was the thing I remember when I first began playing this game back in the day, not the emulator version. I made the emulator a while ago too, and I turn it on every so often and play, but I figured I'd do it now as a little there we go. We get our deed, and then we generate vehicle to the deed, and we got our swoop bike. So this is Mos Eisley, but I mean the graphics obviously don't look like anything special anymore. You know, when you put like compared to like Tatooine and like Mos Eisley and like Battlefront 2, where it's like you're like legitimately in the desert at this point. It's, you know, the graphics are ridiculous, but at this point the graphics were great. It was like the best representation in 2003, like the best representation like of Star Wars you can get, especially just like I'll store this for a second. I just want to take a look at the. Oh, somebody's been admiring their handiwork. A couple of corpse sand troopers. This is the ticket terminal where you can buy tickets to go to either other cities or other planets. So we start on Tatooine, then there's Loke, Rory, Naboo, there's Endor, there's Corellia, Talos, Dantooine, Dathomir, Yavin. Now you can't go directly to some of them. You can't go from Tatooine to Yavin 4. It's too far away. You'd have to go to you'd have to make a transfer in Corellia first. You know, those are planets. Like, I've been to all the planets at least once, but, like, honestly, some of them, like, you know, so far away, it's difficult to even do it. So, you know, I usually, when I played this game, I stuck to Tatooine. I would stay on Naboo a lot. Naboo is really nice, you know, like all the haunts, you know, all the points of interest are in the game. And you get badges for going to the points of interest, and that's what we'll do in this little mission here. We'll do, we'll check out some points of interest. And, Corellia was nice, you know, the capital city is Coronet, and, like, that was very, you know, Coruscant-esque, and then, you know, a little different from how they portrayed Corellia in the Solo movie, you know, which was more like a gritty industrial place. Endor, just like the movie. Tatooine, probably only been at Tatooine once, you know, because it was just, you know, just out of the way, and, like, you know, you wanted to be where the action was, and most of the players were on Tatooine or Naboo. You'd have higher end players, like if I remember going to Dathomir a few times, and it was like, oh, this is like where the big shots are hanging out, you know, because Dathomir was also like a dark side planet. There was a lot of, like, you know, dangerous creatures. Like, if you went out unbuffed, you'd, like, die. Buffs are like, you get a doctor buffs, and it, you know, gives you have like 10 times power. You had to, anytime you went on a serious mission, you went buffed. You know, you wouldn't go on a mission unbuffed because you would get fucked up. You know, whether it's like you know, or we're hunting Rancors, or we're going, you know, we're gonna do a Rebel versus Imperial thing. You know, you need to be buffed, you know, or else you're gonna get messed up, even with your army. Like, I have solid armor, but without buffs, it's useless. So, but I'm not gonna get buffed because it takes too long. But I'm going to go over here and purchase a ticket, as opposed to just driving my speeder there, because it would take like 15 minutes just to drive my speeder over there. So I'll just transport over there. And I think we'll go see a few of the simple points of interest. We'll go see maybe the Crate Skeleton, and maybe the space pod, where C-3PO and R2-D2 landed, you know. So it's like cool points of interest in the movie that, you know, those are like the fun things to check when you check out this game the first time around. The music was great, you know, mixed music from the original trilogy and the prequels, you know. You hear this music from Phantom Menace song right now. Really nice, you know, really set the tone and the vibe of the Star Wars universe. So now here, in every 5 minutes, there's another shuttle launching up, and you could take this to the other planets, or you could take this to the other cities. So the shuttle's about to begin boarding. Alright, come on, let's go. So here it is. So we'll start boarding. Yeah, this shows you little tidbits, you know, on Tatooine, Fort Tuscan. Yeah, so Fort Tuscan I've been to, that's like, you know, it's like there's a lot of creatures that you could just randomly shoot, and there's dangerous creatures like Tuscan Raiders or Sand People. They were dangerous. Like, even if you're like a strong level player, you know, like, you better be buffed, or like they're gonna fuck you up. They're serious, you know. Okay, so we're in this other little city, as you can see, deserted in comparison to Mos Eisley, which is like one of the most poppin' cities. Like, the most poppin' cities are like Mos Eisley, and I got 2 swoops. I didn't really. Oh, this is the broken one. This one got damaged the last time I was out. Let me just destroy this. It's of no use to me. Once they're, you could repair them if they're not disabled. This one's destroyed, disabled. So you can't use it disabled again. I know that. So I want to just destroy it because it's a waste. But let's call upon this one first. Yeah, you can repair them if they're not, like, destroyed yet, but this stuff is destroyed. So we'll go to the escape pod. That's a fun little, just a little tidbits from the movie. You know, we're just in the cantina. We start in the cantina, but, you know, like, the planets are huge. You know, there's all sorts of points of interest. As you can see, there's the Mos Espa racetrack. There's Mos Espa itself. Fort Tuscan, like we were talking about, a crate graveyard, which is like in the Tuscan stronghold, you know, or a Tuscan stronghold where there's a lot of Tuscan Raiders. I think I put that in myself. The crate graveyard where there's a lot of crate dragon skeletons, and you'll see crate dragons. Chances are we'll see one right now, because we're going to be going near the big crate skeleton where C-3PO and R2-D2 walked along. Then there's the Pit of Carcoon, Kenobi's house. This is all in, like, this area. There's Beggar's Canyon over there. Or at least I think I tagged that Beggar's Canyon. It was a huge canyon in the middle of nowhere with a little Beggar's Canyon. Yeah, so this is not too bad. You know, you got to take your shuttles to these places, otherwise you'll be driving your speeder bike in the dunes for 25 minutes. Yeah, here we are. And if this is the first time you came here, you'd get like a little, you get the Star Wars music comes on, you get a little badge come up on screen. So here it is. This is where they crash their escape pod, and then not too far away would be the ancient crate dragon skeleton. So it says. Not too far away because they walk there in the movie. Yeah, but that was like the first thing you do with this game. Or early on in the game. Once you get enough money, you do a few little missions. There's mission terminals, and depending on what line of work you want to be in, you're gonna do entertainer stuff. You're gonna try to get build yourself a flute. You're gonna do and there's a crate dragon right there. Yeah, they just rip you apart. If you go to Tusken Raider, will rip you apart. A crate dragon will just destroy you. And there's a little one. Ooh, a juvenile one. Now, you could be a creature handler, that is a profession, but I don't think you can wrangle crate dragons. I'm not even sure if you can wrangle rancors. You might be able to. Yeah, but this is about as close as I can get to them without them noticing me. And they'll kill you pretty much instantly, it's just a waste. And when you die in this game, you get cloned in the nearest facility, and it degrades all your equipment and stuff. So it does suck to die in this game. So I think some of my armor is at 0%. So that means it's completely useless. It doesn't protect me. I think maybe my gloves are at 0% because every time, not only because of just normal use, wear and tear, but every time you die, it degrades. So if you had 100% perfect armor that you just bought, and then you got into a fight or something, it might be like 97% after the fight. But if you got killed, it would go down to like 80%. It would get chunked. I'm not sure the total, the actual percentage, but you would definitely get a big chunk of it. And then you got to buy more. Armor's pretty expensive in this game. So yeah, that's what you mean by open sandbox. It was just whatever you wanted to do in the Star Wars world. And I think Sony Online saw that as intimidating to new subscribers. So, so they were like, and also the fact that everybody really wanted to become a Jedi, but this game is based in between A New Hope and Empire Strikes Back, so there's not supposed to be Jedi everywhere. So Jedi, while they were possible in the game, only the people that grinded like 60, 80 hours, 100 hours a week of this game, and were able to, so I think a girl was the first one to unlock Jedi, but everybody really wanted, because that's what a cool thing to have. A lightsaber, it can be dark side or light side. People have double-edged lightsaber with double-sided lightsabers, green, blue, whatever, multiple colors. And but the thing was that it wasn't really supposed to be. This is supposed to be a sandbox world. You need like a steady economy. Everybody can't be Jedi in this game. So that was like the first issue with the game. And then because the combat in this game is a bit wonky. It's like turn-based, and it's a bit dated. It's not particularly exciting. Maybe a little bit. Here's you get some Star Wars music coming on. Usually when you go to a point of interest, this music comes on. This is the same Jawas they sold R2 and 3PO. Yeah, that's cool though. Yeah, but you get to see all so there's plenty of these on every planet. You got Naboo. There's there's Theed and Sacred Place. So for your enjoyment, I'm not gonna shoot these guys. Well, maybe I could shoot them and then run. But they would. What will happen is that they'll end up like getting SWAT at my ship and my speeder, and then they'll disable it, and then I'll die. That's actually what happened the last time I played. Actually, other guys were fighting them, and I was like, "Ooh, let me chime in from a distance," and I got swatted, and they disabled my ship like instantly, and that was the end of me. I got slow. They don't knock you out. Like some creatures will they'll knock you out. And these guys just kill you instantly, pretty much. So it's like not worth it. Suckers, I like the little juvenile one. Get a little close. They are huge though when you get real up close to them. Yeah, they're like quite aware. Let me get a little. Oh, I'm getting too close. See, I'm actually quite far away from them, but they're huge. Even the juvenile one's huge. Great dragon. Oh, they saw me. I'm out. Oh damn, I'm gonna get killed. Is it still coming toward me? Oh, that was lucky. That was lucky. Usually I'd be dead. You'll be dead. That was nice and lucky. But that was interesting. We'll go back to everything. This is the pit of Carcoon too. You get the Z's when you go near the pit of Carcoon. But maybe we'll go check out Metho. And then that'll be it. Because I'm not gonna. Just wanted to kind of explain what this game was. You know, if you never played it, and that's the thing is that now that there's an emulator, you can download like the emulator and actively play this game for free nowadays. I mean, you actually have to only be 16 years old. It was actually given to me as a gift, and because I didn't really play many video games in like high school. And somebody was like, "Oh, you gotta try this out, man." And he's like, I got buy one get one free Best Buy. Like, I got you this. This is an awesome game. You have to try this. And I was like, and it was given to me for free. And I was like, oh shit, free Star Wars game? I'll check it out. And I checked it out, and I really liked it. And I played it for like from summer before, let's say like July, August, September, October, November, December. I played it for like 6 months. And then, it was kind of pricey. I was like a 16, 17-year-old kid working. And, it was a little pricey and just didn't have the time. These MMORPG games, they're not games that you turn on for, an hour or whatever, 40 minutes and think you're going to get anywhere. I remember one time we were, there was like a, online game place. I can fly. Can I get, I'll go right to Theed. Can I fly from Theed from here? Probably not. Do I have a ticket? Did it work? I don't think I can fly from here to Theed. This isn't a... No, I can't do that. Am I buying tickets or what? But, no. But, yeah, there was like a MMORPG like storefront where they had like almost 30 computers set up and like a T1 like internet line, and this was back in the day before, when it was a little more difficult to play like online at home. You needed a really good broadband line, it was plus this was in like a super good computer at the time, like 1 terabyte of 1 gigabyte of RAM was like unheard of, like 512 was like, whoa, 512, so you needed like all this stuff, and as like young broke kids, like, well, what the hell do we have? And so we went to one of these places once, and I was like, it was like after school, it might have been 4 p.m. and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna just play for an hour. And then my friend that played, he played EverQuest at the time, and he was like, what are you gonna get done in an hour? He's like, you have to stay till close, it's like close at 10. And I was like, what? I was like, you gonna play this game for 6 hours, and that was when I realized, like, I was like, oh, I'm out of my league with playing these games, it was fun, but, like, because the goal is to, become a big shot, like, I was like, even then I was a bounty hunter, and I was like, well, I want to become Jedi, and like I remember like grinding, and this game's a lot of grinding, you know, a lot of people had like hotkeys and like auto stuff set up where they were grinding all, you know, they just had it like AFK grinding all night and stuff. So it just became, you know, games like this kind of become like a second career, and it was just like, that's too much, you know. Plus the cost, it was like $30 a month, and needed time, and I was, you know, I just kind of phased out. Like, but I, you know, I really did enjoy my time playing it, you know, and like 04, 05, and then I played a bit again in 05 when there was the updates, whatever they're called, the add-ons, the, you know, so like you know, and I played it, and then when the we're just waiting for the shuttle to reappear. You know, hold on, I'm bored in a minute. So it was yeah, the expansion packs. You know, there was Jump to Lightspeed was the first one where you can play online, and a lot of people did that. I never got even into that. You know, that was like a whole second game. You know, that was perfect for people that are like, we're playing this game for 2 years, like, you know, 60 hours a week, and then they moved on to that game. But that was like a whole nother game. You know, it's like, oh, I gotta buy and build a spaceship and then fly it, you know, and then have like space battles. It did look great, and it has great reviews. But I actually never even got into Jump to Lightspeed. But that was the first expansion for this game. Yeah, it's got like a real quality reception rating here. Jump to Lightspeed. The regular game does too, and you know, which is called the Empire, an Empire Divided, right? Yeah, an Empire Divided. That was the first one. Let me see. The expansions, because you had quite a few. And they're all just showing me Jump to Lightspeed. But yeah, it came out in June, summer of 03, and I started playing it in summer of 04. So I was like a year late to the party. Yeah, but this game got shut down in 2011 because of the Star Wars: The Old Republic. But really, what happened was that this game had a few different things. This game is now pre-CU, so pre-combat upgrades. So they changed a few things, and then there was the NG, which was the new game enhancements. So after they changed things for Jedi, and that wasn't seeming to work out for Sony Online Entertainment. Just kept meddling with this game terribly. You know, it reminds you of what EA does today, although they're more, you know, they're even more money hungry. But similarly, like we're not getting enough subscribers, we need more money, we need to keep fiddling with it. And it was like, it's good the way it is, you know, but in the end, it wasn't financially. They just wanted more. They wanted more subscriptions, so they wanted to make it to appeal to a more, you know, mainstream demographic. And I believe it did do good numbers originally. It just wasn't, I think, the numbers that they wanted. And they kept, so they're, all right, we're gonna bring Jedi in, and they brought Jedi in, and then like now we're gonna, you know, another year later, we're going to change how combat is, because a lot of people, like, you know, at the time, even combat itself was a little wonky. A lot of people felt that it wasn't maybe up to, so I purchased my ticket for really wasn't like up to snuff, I guess, in comparison to similar MMORPG games at the time. And the combat was a little wonky, or maybe, you know, it was like kind of turn-based, kind of, you know, but it was alright. You know, when there was intense combat going on, it was fun and intense. Like when that Great Dragon was following me right there, it was like, oh shoot, gotta get out of here. You know, so in times where you were battling with a group, and battling maybe stormtroopers, or, you know, battling against rebels if you are Imperial, I mean, that was all fun stuff. And intense, you know, but then they had the combat upgrades, and that didn't really sit that well. It wasn't, like, I remember when they changed it, I wasn't, you know, like, it was just, you know, this is a little confusing, what is this? And then finally, the final nail in the coffin was the new game enhancements, where essentially they completely revamped the game, and that was the death of it. Where instead of all these professions, they had, I think, like a World of War, because World of Warcraft was becoming really big at the time, and that was simple 8 professions. And that's, so they followed that thing, and Jedi was one of the starting professions, and it just totally screwed everything up. So I'll show you how combat works in this game. So I'm going to just shoot this guy. Die, you fuck. There you go. Yeah, just, you know, a couple of shots and he's dead. As you can see, we are in, like sunset indeed. Very nice. Got somebody's ATST. But because I'm not a rebel, I can't just straight up attack them. You have to have, like, factioning. Here's Dark Troopers. You know, so there's cool stuff in the game. And this was the starship crafting station to create, to craft your starship for Jump to Lightspeed, the expansion. But I'm pretty sure Jump to Lightspeed isn't active for this or live for this yet. I know they were working on it, but they were having trouble with the coding for the emulator. So here we go. We have some here's Imperials, and we have a Tarakasi Master, and I would assume he is a Imperial because he's certainly hanging around some Imperials. There's even a cantina here in Theed, but not too many people in Theed tonight. And some of them are NPCs that you can't do anything with; they just stand there. And some of them you can shoot, like this guy. He's a thug. Oh no, he was a. I don't know what he was, but he's dead now. But just running around Theed. Listening to the TIE fighters up in the sky, but you know, at the time, and you know, take this back 14 or 15, 17 years when the game came out, like 17 years ago, it's insane. This game was like top of the line MMORPG. It was like, whoa, you know, and still lauded today because of the sandbox system, you know, which is like it really is the one true like completely sandbox. Do what you want, live in the Star Wars universe, which was such an awesome thing, you know, then and now. So here's, I think, the cantina. Some heavy Imperial presence here on Naboo. I guess at the time period that would be make sense, but you know, there's ATSTs everywhere. There's troops. There's a cantina. There's people in the cantina. There's a bunch of people just chilling. Stay safe and remember to maintain social distancing from cute fuzzy uni. That's fun. Oh, there's a buffing machine. There's doctors in here buffing. There's usually like AFK doctors. They're not NPCs, they're real players, but they usually just have their characters in their AFK like buffing at all times. You're supposed to tip them. You know, hey, oh, glitch. But I'm not gonna go on any crazy missions. Again, you know, like I'm a bounty hunter, and the missions are long. It's like, you know, like if I'm gonna go on a mission, I better have 2 hours to kill, especially at my level, because I'm going towards master bounty hunter. I have to like meet a spy operative, get like a DNA thing from the spy, and then I need to launch out like a seeker droid to tell me what planet he's on, and then I need to go to the planet, and then he moves around on the planet a few times, and then finally find him and fight him. It's like well over an hour, you know. So I didn't even want to do that this time. I just kind of wanted to maybe at the next live stream I do, I'll do that. This is the dud one, right? Yeah, let me just destroy this because this is getting in my way. Swoop bike out. Swoop bike's like one of the fastest one. I know people use a speeder bike. There's a few other speeders. I'm pretty sure swoop bike is pretty much the fastest. So as you can see, nice speed. Here's like the waterfall shooting around. Checking out the scenery. And there's, you know, a lot of creatures you can grind against if you're a combat profession, you know, if you're a Tarakasi, which is pretty much the strongest combat profession, you know. I know like Pistolier is strong, but Tarakasi is pretty much like the strongest. Like if you see like Crate Dragons or Rancors, like they're usually getting fought against by guys that do, you know, Tarakasi. So this is like all stuff like if you remember how the movie worked, you know. Ooh, let's fly down here. There's the waterfall, the bottom of the waterfall. I'm not sure if I think this was like a point of interest in the game. Like so you would get a badge. I have all of these badges already. But you know, except the sky would look sick. You know, it's just a cool game to play. You know, Star Wars music would come on. I'd love to eat. Let's see if the distance here. All the waterfalls. Any creatures around? Any creatures or anything to fight with? Gundam? Kill some Gundam. Let's kill creatures. Kill some creatures. What do you got? Stuff good? Why do they have like blue around them? Oh no, wait around them. Can't see anyone. No, here we go. Cadoos. Oh, it's pretty tough. Oh, not that tough. I'm pretty strong, so if they don't get killed in one single shot. But this would be like the kind of grinding you would do if you were a combat profession and needed to like grind up XP points. And you'd be doing this 1,000 times. A lot of guys set it up with like hotkeys and stuff where they were able to just grind all night, like auto grind. I never really figured out how to do that. Like where I didn't care as much. I mean I did. I was like, wouldn't that be good? You know, just grind my way to master professions, but I never did. I have some. If you see the black bar here, I think that's some like rot or fatigue or whatever from when I got fucked up by the crate dragon the last time. Somebody here. Somebody driving by? My spear. But yeah, just give you an idea of the different environments, you know, like Naboo, like all like cool and like, you know, nice jungly or you know, whatever, and very greenery and plains. You know, the sort of sceneries change from area to area in each planet. They're not all exactly the same. Here's another little township over here. That's interesting. You know, there's also like player-made cities. You know, people like build buildings and stuff, and then there's player-run cities, and then that's what. And then the politicians come into it. You know, there's art, there's quality art. Somebody's selling art. Somebody's third house. So somebody's third house. Yeah, you have your own house. You put your stuff in it. Like you accumulated in the game. Yeah, this is like a player-run city. Build lightning. You know, little cottages. Droid factory, see they have like these things that, you know, like heavy mining, so that's if you're mining like precious metals and stuff then to like use to build everything, you know. That's why this game had an interesting economy. And then there we go, that'd be food up there, that's the shuttle port or whatever, and just like in the movie. Very cool. You know, at the time, like I said, you know, these graphics at the time were like, whoa, really in Star Wars, you know. Then you play like Battlefront, it's like, oh my god, it's just like really the deserts of Mos Eisley. It's like, it's insane. Especially if you play like on a PS Pro at 4K, you know. Yeah, but at the time, you know, this was like beautiful scenery, like, you know, like the effects were great. Yeah, well, I'm talking 17 years ago, this game came out. So, we'll end it up at the shuttle port or whatever. But, you know, Interpedia. Just, but great game, you could play it, you know, you just have to, you have to, like, legally own, you know, the game itself. You can buy this on eBay or whatever for, like, $30 or something like that, and look what they're going for, but I'm pretty sure it's not that much, you know. And then it's free to play, you know, monthly, there's no fee to play like there used to be, you know. So like when I got a hankering to play this game, I guess it was like 2012, and I, you know, I was, you know, get nostalgic. Oh, remember Star Wars Galaxies? What an awesome game, you know. Like, you know, I was playing that when I was in high school, and then like I looked it up and I was like, oh wow, there's fucking emulators of this game, unbelievable. And then I thought maybe it was just like you could just enter the game, you know. And then I found out like people are actually playing it. I was like, what? I was like, the game still exists? And I was like, that's great. Yeah, that was like a big thing. And then I know there's a good handful of guys that like actively play and like stream it or whatever. There's the guy. Oh, I don't want to come down here again. There you go. There's the guy Mobius1 on YouTube. He actively plays, or at least he was. I don't know. But yeah, if you never played the game, or if you have like nostalgia for playing it from back in the day, It exists. Here it is. So come on and play. We want a little mission here. There's some you see like a little entertainer space. You know, it's like if you could use it. So it's like Max Rebo's piano. Getting a little dark here. Protocol droid, that guy's back. Not killing me. Well, I guess dying in bed is boring anyway. Ain't that the truth? A lot of Imperial presence around here. Oh, yeah. How about this? Yeah, usually you don't see that many Imperials around here. Here's like, okay, so yeah, like these characters have to do with he's a real player, right? He's AFK, yeah, super. I'm gonna bring myself back to Tatooine because I got some missions to do there, but I'm not gonna do those today. We'll do them another day. I mean, honestly, this is a game where people, you know, like, I remember a few times like playing like this game all night, you know, as a kid from, you know, from 9 p.m. till 8 in the morning. We were just playing this game like for hours and hours and hours online. You know, just like any other MMORPG of people that played World of Warcraft. Yeah. But this is before World of Warcraft, and then World of Warcraft kind of put the final nail in the coffin in this game because that was so big. Yeah, it's some nice Star Wars music. Nice mix of original trilogy music and prequel trilogy music. And the prequels, you know, were active at the time. Yeah, see, ooh. Oh, we just missed it. But here's the, ooh, no, or did we just make it? Here's the Imperial shuttle over here. And other little shuttles. But here's, like, the hangar. Alright, let's get the frick out of here. And that's it. Just a little idea of how this game, 17-year-old game, works. But it's fun and people still play it. You know, I think I made the account like 8 years ago, so I've been playing this like just occasionally. Just like, I'll turn on Star Wars Galaxies and play for a little bit. You know, do one mission, forget about it. You know, so I'm like slowly building the character. Like I said, I've apparently had the account for 8 years and still not a master bounty hunter. But I did need to get 2 professions to even get to bounty hunter, but bounty hunter is like a top level profession, so you need to get, I need to get like master rifleman or whatever, and scout to become a bounty. Yeah, I had to get master marksman and master scout to become bounty, just a novice bounty hunter. And then I'm, as you can see, barely halfway through bounty hunter, you know. But it's, you know, the game is grindy, and you know, the social part of it was a big part. You do meet a lot of people in the game. You know, I was just battling in the Swill Cave a few months ago. It's like a cave where you battle creatures, you grind for creatures, and I was chatting with people in there. It was fun. You know, usually I like to just kind of do my own thing, like, and just like, but you know, a lot of people love this game for the social aspect of it, and you know, all in all, the game's cool. I had nothing but good memories of this game. And it's great that you could actually go back and play it. You know, as I was saying on one of my other streams, you know, a lot of games nowadays, you know, if you want to go and play Battlefront 1 on PS4, you can't even really get a game around in, you know, because nobody's on. So imagine in a few years if you're like, oh, remember those levels from a lot of people, as you can see, it's, oh, there's a Jedi. Look at this guy. This is a Tusken Raider outfit, Jedi Padawan. And he's in Tusken garb. That's funny. Ooh, I'm getting healed. Oh, thank you. Yeah, there's a lot of... Ooh, Force Lightning. Oh, he hooked me up. He was healing. I guess he was using Force healing. Yeah, a lot of people hanging around here. Ooh, another Jedi Council member. Ooh. Nice. Yeah, this is like... That's like armor I've never even seen before, you know. So, yeah, interesting, you know. But as you can see, just plenty of people playing. Plenty of people... you know, hanging out in the middle of Tatooine here. It's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's a real guy. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Jabba's not real. Let's kill him. Yeah, like 30, 40 people just in this little area. But this is more popular area, obviously. But fun game, you know, you can go on loot missions and whatnot. So, and that Jedi healed me nice, so I'll be ready to go on my next mission, but that'll be maybe next time. Alright, everybody, that's it. Enjoy the 40th anniversary of Empire Strikes Back. Maybe go watch Empire or something, and keep watching stars.